Oh, okay, cool. So not too much smoke over there?
It was pretty heavy. It was pretty, I went outside. I got a black car and it was gray, and the filtration system with the air conditioner. Oh, hey everybody. Troy Rawlings here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. I'm just talking to the ladies. You came in on the conversation. Talking about, we usually don't date these shows, but we're talking about what's going on right now. It's 2020. We got COVID-19, quarantine, uprising, and now the world is on fire. So it's a lot going on in 2020. But an amazing thing coming forth 2020, a transition. He said, but transition. The world is ending, but y'all can get a chance to watch something amazing coming from this young lady, actress, producer, writer, director, co-owner of Four Hearts Studios and Four Hearts Entertainment. Is it entertainment and studios or just studios?
Yeah.
Both. She's like, both. Yeah, that sounds good. Both. This Cici Foster, and with her she has two of the ladies from the cast of Symone the Web Series. Yeah. Yes, it's all right. I'm just gonna call it Shay Shay because they said Shay Shay was legal.
You can't say the word.
MASHARI and SHANEQUA.
MASHARI. It's tricky. I know.
Is it MASHARI?
MASHARI.
Make it French. MASHARI. You can call me Monsheri if you like.
I was trying to make it French and I don't know a name, but if it MASHARI.
Hey, I'll answer to anything with it.
How are y'all? Y'all look like y'all having a ball, and I love the studio rooms. I love how it's set up there. How's everything going out there? And where are you? Are you in the Valley?
Yeah, we're in Sylmar now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it safe out there right now? What's going on? What's the happenings?
I was like, is it safe anywhere? Right.
People don't understand what people in the industry really have to go through. These fires and stuff. You got to work under these pressures.
Yeah.
But y'all look at me.
Like it's smokier here than it is where I am.
Yeah, and it's even smokier in Santa Clarita.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, it's like you had that orange haze, and it was just like the air was really bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's better now than it was at least a couple of weeks ago.
Prayers and love up to those who have lost property, lost houses, any people, animals. Animals are losing their mind. I don't know where the animals. If the animals, poor animals.
Bad in Oregon right now too. So it's like the deadliest and the worst that it's been in this period.
Right.
The air quality and the fires and how much I think 10% of the population or 10% of everything out there has been ruined due to the fires.
Yep. The world is on fire. You were correct.
The world is on fire. It's uprising for real. So God's still rain down. We good. We get it.
Yeah.
I wonder how different our New Year's would have been if we would have known when we were walking.
Oh my God.
Like who celebrated for
we
real?
We really still want to celebrate it the way
you
you're not going nowhere after this. This is it. You better enjoy every minute of it.
I had an amazing baby boom this month if people had known what was going to happen. It's like, so, Cici, give us a little bit of background. Where are you originally from?
Chicago. Me and my husband moved out here about 12 years ago. We moved out here because I wanted to be an actress. I was an actress, and in Chicago the market is pretty small, so you can only go so far. So I felt like the next step is LA, so let's do it. We moved out here. Bam! It was a writer's strike. There was no acting work for years. Right. Yeah, it was bad. So
what year did you
12 years ago.
2000.
You came out in 2000. I came out in 2008 at the end of the writer's strike, February 9th.
Okay, so I was out here in 2007. So I came out when it first began, and it was really horrible. No work. They were like, you're SAG actor, you cannot cross the picket lines. Sorry. And we were just like, oh my God, this is the worst time ever. So, we fought through that and got through that little piece. And then afterwards, it was still slow for me as an actor. So just started looking into other avenues to be creative, because I was just like, you know what? As an actor, you're really sitting doing a lot of waiting. So,
Right.
you know, why don't I do my own? Because I've always been a writer. I have a novel out. And so I just wanted to keep with the creative. So started writing screenplays, and after a while met this lady here. We formed a company, and we did like a documentary about actresses in LA that came from other parts of the world to be an actress. Follow them around, and you know, so that's kind of where it all began with me. And then the studio came about because as I was producing my own work, I was astonished at how expensive it was to rent a studio in LA for a day. I mean, people were telling me like $3,500 for the day, and I was like, oh, man, this is crazy. So I was like, I could do my own small studio, and then when I'm not using it, rent it out to other folks who, you know, need it. So For Her Studio was born. I've been here 5 years. It'll be 5 years, October 4th, my birthday. So it was the greatest birthday gift ever. Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Early birthday. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. I don't want to leave you two out. Where are you from? What's your LA story? Everybody has a LA story.
Yeah. I guess me. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, and I came out here in 2006. Same thing with Cici, acting, doing my own thing. I tried to follow, do college, did my whole IT thing, but I was like, I still wanted to do acting, and people were like, yeah, I know this person is production. So I kind of got my feet back wet and ended up doing a feature in Dallas. So I was like, okay, like maybe I can do this. And I started doing commercials, infomercials, all of that. And I just met other people throughout my time, and they wanted to come to California because they were actors. And I lucked up the roommate I had. She's the only one that came with a job. So she had an accounting job, transferred, and we just were like, hey, let's do it. I told my parents, like, don't be surprised if I move to California. Less than a month, I was like, we were ready to roll. So I told my parents about like October, December 2006 week. And then they came and followed me out there, the other two. I've been out here ever since. So yeah. And then just the same, like you start working, and then you realize there's not enough jobs for you. And it's like, I came all the way out here. I was a big fish in a smaller pond. Now I'm like, I'm just lost in the shuffle. Right. So I started doing my own projects. And people were like, why don't you do your own? So I did a short film, managed to get that into a festival. Head got a little bit big. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And I managed to start linking up with people. And so I managed to meet, which we all mutually know, Jerry Jackson. Right. My man. That's how we know each other. Yeah. And then I worked with him at a studio, and from there we were just knocking out stuff. If I had ideas, like we were shooting different game show concepts, music videos, commercials, anything we can do to just try to see if we can get into the system as Black, artists and things like that, producers, directors, and just be creative. And from there, I've just like flourished, and I've been lucky ever since. And but the grind is real. Like if you put in the work, the rest will follow. That's all you have to do.
But too, Troy, just so you know, they're producers on Symone as well too. So they're acting in it, and they're producers. Yeah. So I couldn't.
Oh, believe me, I got that they were more than acting, because I could the flow. I told y'all look like any trio female group or production that you don't have the glare of act. Once you've been in the industry for a certain amount of time and been to LA for a while, that whole leaves and you have this glare of okay, action. You're like, what's we doing? So, and where are you originally from?
I'm originally from California, but Northern California. I left there at 17, went to school in Chicago, stayed there for almost a decade, and then moved out to LA. And been here ever since.
We didn't know each other in
Chicago
at all.
It's a funny story.
That's crazy.
We met off of Craigslist, I always tell people.
Well,
yeah, looking for a friend on Craigslist.
But just go on Craigslist. You're lonely, go on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Sometimes the shit works out. I'm just saying.
The stalker rate is going through the roof right now. And you're like, Craigslist?
Somebody I was dating.
Chicago?
That sounds even weird.
Yeah,
right. But we ended up meeting. Right. But no, we didn't know each other in Chicago. But part of our so we ended up working together through the documentary where we went back to Chicago and kind of explored our roots there. Feature film. Yeah, it took us 2 years, so we can't downplay that documentary.
Well, yeah.
Very important part of our journey. And that was my actual first time doing producing. Yours as well, right?
No.
Producing?
On my own, I should say, because I always jump on other people's stuff and help them produce, but that was like my first.
Now I want to touch on that, because and this is where I jump around a little bit, because the type of time we're in now, where for the past 6 months, even though there's been some grassroots, some underground, some CGI production, different things, for the past 6 months in the industry, it's pretty much been a standstill. You can look at Netflix. Netflix viewer ratio has jumped up 70. It's like 75% viewer rate jump through the roof. They're starting to show stuff. They're going back, and I mean, for people that got equity in their older projects, I mean, Sister is on. They're like, Black Sister's on. I got my daughter watching Sister, and when I looked at it, it was no offense, it was grainy.
The quality is not the best. Yeah, it's
like took it off somebody's TV. It's like, you got a VHS from, bring that over here. We're gonna
play. You got it, we'll play it.
Yeah.
You got it. Literally, it's about to be that across the board. And I talked to a guy named Mike Birkenbein a while back. He helps with film. He helps develop film funding plans for people so that they have the full financial plan to get their films funded. And he said he works closely with Netflix and other people. He's like, Troy, it's about to be green light city for a lot of things, and some of the stuff you see is like, where is this coming from? But it's so right now for you girls, you ladies, do you feel like there's more opportunity to get your projects even placed more? Is there more opportunity? I know there are more platforms, but is there more opportunity even with some of the quote unquote big boys?
I think so. Personally, I see that all the streaming services popping up. It's like I'm not gonna say level the playing field. It's not level yet, but it has opened up a lot more opportunities for projects for the independents. You know, because till now, if you think about it, you don't have to have $1 million to make a great project now. Make a great product. It's like you've got right these iPhones.
Yeah, shoot, great quality, like music videos. Lady Gaga's done it recently, so yeah.
And it's the movie Tangerine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That whole movie was done on iPhone. A couple movies, comedy specials. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. This is on an Android right now. This is Skype and Android.
That's for us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, just to piggyback on Cici, yeah, it definitely doesn't level the playing field, but I feel like due to the climate of things, they're hungry for content. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're able during this time, we follow all the protocols, we're, following COVID, SAG, everything we need to, and even if projects are non-union, you still follow the protocol, get projects out, get it pushed, and it will get played. As long as you follow what they need done, like the stereo, like all of the other little specifics of things, you can get your project on, and then there's like Quibi, Hustle. There's so many other like platforms, but not too many people are shooting stuff right now unless you have big production that you can put your people in a bubble and you're paying for them to get tested all the time, and you can't do it's too expensive unless you're going out the country. So you're looking for who's doing what right now that you can put it on your Amazon, Netflix, Quibi, all of that. You push it, and you're gonna get in. I guarantee our project is gonna get in, and some other stuff will not. It's gonna, we'll be seeing it shortly.
Oh, without a doubt. Plus, believe it or not, you're actually in there's no other way to say it. You're in the hottest demographic for marketability right now. The women, and specifically African American women, are the biggest entrepreneurial group in history in the United States right now. Like history. Well, what's funny is that's not new, because if we look at what we talk about Madam C.J. Walker, but we forget that she also started 50,000 Black women in business.
I love that. Yeah.
At that time, what you heard about Mary Kay and Tracy Lynn and Judy, whoever. And so do you find it, because I'm glad I'm very happy to have you all on the show, but it's awesome because you got 3 beautiful African American women that had the dream of acting, and they say, well, the doors seem to be closed, but I'm not leaving. I have more skills.
Right.
And I think that's the most inspirational, just at the top of all this, I think that's the most inspirational thing for any creative, to know that you were doing it. And this was, and mind you, 2006, 7, 8, I didn't get on Facebook till 2008 and was trying to figure that out and start doing vlogs on Facebook. So a lot of this stuff that people were saying, oh, and I talk about how I was marketing on MySpace. I'm like, MySpace, you're a dinosaur. I'm like, wait.
Well, say Black Planet too, right? Were you part of Black Planet?
I started my name on Black Planet was Java. This interview about to go a whole nother area. I used to do Black Planet parties, and I'm from Baltimore originally. So I used to do Black Planet parties in Baltimore. And my name was Java Mochachinos, and that became the name of my coffee business. So it's a lot. Shout out to LA Grind Coffee and Tea Bar though.
It's like drinking the coffee. I get it now.
Nice, smooth move.
Yeah, that's commercial. It's like product placement, and you don't even. But I do love coffee. So let's talk about Symone. Where did the idea come from? And give us as little as you can without giving it away, because that's the great thing about a web series.
Mine is Cici. Where did Symone
I
come
can
from?
tell you, because I'm a mother, okay, I can tell you the moment Symone, the concept was created. So I'm driving, picking up my daughter from school, Cici calls. I'm like, hi, yeah, sure, huh, what's going on? She's like, we should get our production company going. We should do this. We should, I have a studio. You're an actress. Let's make something. I was like, girl, you know, right now, my schedule, I'm just so, she's like, yeah, so we're going to create something. And
you got to push her into a spot of being busy,
Yeah, but
Wait, she shifted from asking, this is what I think we should do. Like, girl, I ain't got time. Look, let me tell you what you're going to make time for. All Chicago came out to, you ain't got time?
If she has an idea.
That's the Black mother for you.
No stopping Cici, right? So I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna, sure, we'll do Cici, call me back like 2 days later. So what are we gonna meet to talk about what we're doing?
It's like, hey, we give you time to think about it. Wait a minute.
So then we met. Originally, the idea was I would write on it, get some other writers. She's a writer. We create this. We had the idea of creating a story surrounding her studio because it's already here. Why not use the studio as part of the story? We knew it was going to be a female lead, and we created, different things. But then she just decided to just write the whole series.
Yeah.
And
well, because MASHARI was talking about, well, let's do a comedy. I said, I don't write comedy. No.
Comedy.
Yeah, I didn't get nothing. Her demeanor is saying.
I don't know why, but it's just dark.
I like scary stuff too, so it's okay. I like film noir type stuff.
So she wrote it, she ran with it, and like within a month, you had all 6 scripts to start.
6 to start.
We put in, I was able to put in my little creative input here and there, but it was just her vision and her story.
All right, Cici, sidebar. I got somebody for you. I got an amazing Black female editor that specializes in horror.
What? Really?
How did you know I needed that?
I'm just look at this. Y'all seeing it happen right in front of your eyes.
Sure.
Show.
That's what we need. Yeah.
I'm serious. I interviewed. You girls are my 73rd interview.
Oh.
I just started Meet the last year just to get my TV hosting chops back up, wanting to be in front of the camera and wanting to help people promote. Cut 2, it became content, So, but I literally, my editor who's helping me on some projects and stuff like that, her passion is horror. Her name is Miosha Bean. I interviewed her. I'm gonna send you her interview.
Miosha.
Nora?
We know Miosha. And I knew you were going to say that because I saw something that she cut together. And I was like, oh, she knows Troy. Small world.
Yeah.
Cyrus Webb.
I spoke to her last week because I was looking for someone to come in and do some behind the I was looking for some behind the scenes stuff. And she told me that she moved, but she's still in the business, but she might come back and stuff. So we reconnected. It was cool. I love Neosha.
And just another sidebar for you, Troy. Me and Cici, we put together a screening for up and coming filmmakers and things like that to give them a platform to show their work. Because you want to like get into festivals, but sometimes you pay all this money, you don't get in. So we're like, at least we can help you out. You can have your people check it out. We provided very safe, fun environment for them to do it. And we pushed it for a good solid year, and we tried to do it again this year, but COVID happened. But that's how I met Neosha, because one of her projects, a couple were in our festival. So so it was a pretty good thing to do.
And the great thing about what you're doing right now is that we need and I'll talk to you more off camera about it, but we need workshop content right now. There are thousands of creatives that are stuck, some in Chicago, some in Maryland, some in DC, not realizing that it doesn't matter where you are. If you just push and do the project and get you have an A team, right? I can tell by, just the energy that.
This is the A team.
Right. So this was pretty organic. So how long ago did you start working on Symone? This project in particular?
We started
COVID shut us down
in February.
And then audition started in March. Right at the beginning before it started. Right before, yeah.
And
it was right at that cusp of COVID. And you're like, you have auditions? Like, wait a minute.
We had callbacks right before they shut us down.
Yeah, right.
The city and everything in it.
So like March, and then we got shut down for what, 4 months?
Yeah, we started back August. Yeah,
we started back in August. Mm-hmm.
People were still on board. They were hungry. They were like, yeah, I'm still wanting to work.
We had the cast already there. So then it was just, when is it safe to shoot? How are we going to set up the protocols?
And it was a SAG sanctioned project, so they made everyone get COVID tested. We had to hire a COVID nurse. We had to have someone in here wiping down surfaces every hour. It was really safe, and then all the crew had to wear masks, and the cast wore masks except when they were on camera. So it was a lot of protocols we had to follow to make sure that it was safe.
Right.
Yeah, but we got it done.
Yeah.
Now, how did that go? Well, you were SAG anyway, so you're going to do it across the board. Because a lot of times you work with people try to do projects, and you're like, hey, I need somebody. I need a, I was joking. I put something online where when I first got to California, I found out about doing extra work, and I was like, yeah, they probably had me playing a gangster. Something. Everything was cop roles.
Wow.
And I'm 6'2". At the time, I was 230. Everything was cop. And so I go to this meeting, and this guy, Noah, the Latino dude with the mustache that plays in all the bald-headed guy that plays in all the gangster films. He's in everything from Bruce Almighty to Training Day. You'll see him in everything. Bald-headed guy, mustache. No, real cool dude. He was talking about how he started in the movie business. Afterwards, I was like, man, he gets all the gangster roles. Let me go ask him. I said, brother,
you want to be a gangster?
I didn't want to be, but I figured they were going to get me for some stereotypical something.
Be a gangster.
I was trying to reverse the stereotype. I was like, I'm not getting any. I was like, I figured they would want me for something, some kind of. All I'm getting is cop roles. He looked at me and said, I thought you were a cop.
He said,
I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no.
Hey, typecast me. What am I? Right. I'll work continuously in that role.
Hey, I'm now when it's time to go back, I would definitely want to play cop all the time. Everything I got, I was numbers, CSI, Criminal Minds. It was so funny after a while. I was like, hey. But what are some of the things that you've experienced on? Because I take it, we're talking about, so about 2000. Was it about 2008 or 9 when you all started actually working together, or was Symone the first project you actually worked together on?
Yeah, 2008 we started our documentary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when we started.
And then there was a period of like 10 years that we didn't do anything. Because then we came back. Yeah, it was
because we released it and then we just kind of let it go. And we, she concentrated more on production. I concentrated more on acting and voiceover work. And then, bam, picking my daughter up from school. We're back.
Tired of waiting around. Let's do this. Like, do what, girl?
And I called Shay because, I know she's a strong producer and actress too. So I'm like, she'd be perfect for this too. Let me see if she's
We met prior to that, but we started working together through Symone.
Right.
Love her. She's good. Cici knows what she's doing. She's great.
Lady. This is this on any platform, private Facebook group, Zoom, whatever. This is a whole conference. It's not. I was about to say this is a whole vibe. This is a whole thing. It's a whole conference because there's so many women in the industry. Period. Let alone African American women in the industry and trying to figure out how to go about doing it. And you're sitting there showing people, okay, just build it, get a team. It doesn't take you and somebody else or you and your come together as long as y'all on one accord. And what people don't know about the industry, oh, you still out in LA, you still doing your thing, oh, you still in entertainment, you still start picking, you still doing the little, they taking pieces of your soul.
That was me on the show, right? I was like with the nails, you
pick your character, you still doing a little. It's nothing little about pursuing your dream, but it takes a team.
Yeah, play it right.
Never. It takes big balls to pursue your dreams, and those people that call your thing little, they're inside them. It's a jealousy thing. They're jealous that they don't have the balls to follow their dreams, and you do. So they're going to downplay what you're doing and call it little. There is nothing little about following your dreams, packing up your damn house, your kids, and coming to a place where nobody, you don't
start
have
from scratch, no money,
live in a prayer like. Okay, I don't know how this is gonna happen.
You have
it's
faith.
Gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I think I speak for Cici too when I say that we're very much about the what we want and the how just kind of figures itself out.
It does.
That's been your whole life.
That is my life.
That's my life too.
That's how I live.
Put it out there, and like I said, you go out on faith. That's all you can do.
And know that it's gonna happen. I have like this inner knowing that no one can take away from me. When I know something,
you put your mind to it. You're gonna do it.
And then it's like the universe just conspires to make it happen.
And also, I think every actor should produce at least once in their life.
So
they need that experience.
What goes the detail of how to put a project together
and
from
also
beginning
just
to end.
Yeah, and also just to realize that you don't have to wait for other people to tell you what your type is. Create what you want to see.
Exactly.
Create what you want to be. Why would you wait? And that's the thing.
Honey, you be waiting around till you like 75 years old before that perfect phone call come in for that perfect role that you've been waiting on. Create that role. It's no reason not to now. We talked about cell phones. Everybody have this now. You get together with your crew, your team, write something. If you can't write, it's plenty of people that sends me scripts all the time and say, hey, look, can you produce this? I don't need any money from you. I just want you to produce it. They want to see their work, finished. So it's where there's a will, there's a way. It's like you really don't have an excuse now.
No.
You don't.
Right. Yeah, don't wait.
So are all of you married and have kids?
Married with kids. I have 2 children.
With 1 child.
1 child.
And you have someone, but no kids.
Okay. No, because I was wondering if, like, being like Cici, you mentioned you and your husband packed up. What does your husband do? I see. Well, he's involved with this, so.
Right. Well, before he used to work at Ford Motor Company.
Okay.
I convinced him to let go of his 6-figure job to follow me on a dream to LA.
That's some strong woman stuff. I convinced him to leave his 6-figure job.
When she sets her mind to something.
I'm trying to, y'all know I do the sex, love, relationship stuff. So I'm so trying to keep this at least PG-13. I was like convinced, because I was about to delve into convince. Makes me convince. Oh, no, you just going to work and I ain't coming to work no more. He does know he's the manager, right? You've been here 20 years. Well, ain't gonna be no other days. My baby need me. So, and you came out and you said it's gonna make it work. I love that because a lot of people, I don't get it. And don't get me wrong, my life is a little different. You come up kind of hard. You start taking chances. A friend of mine told me, she was like, your faith is just so much greater than mine. I said, my faith is not greater than yours. I've just tried it more. And a lot of, we all have a measure of faith, but a lot of people don't jump, don't take a leap, don't take a step. So first off, I applaud y'all for just continuously doing it, but I don't think there's anything different. I remember when I was in Baltimore, I was like, I think I'm supposed to be in California. I'm gonna make, and all this stuff is coming against me. It's like, oh, you grinding here in Baltimore. How you gonna make it in California? It's so expensive than ever. And I just heard it. Holy Spirit was like, look, buy a plane ticket. So then I had a date. And for me, dates and accountability have always fell in line. So I was like, February 9th. So people were like, how you gonna do this? I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but you know what?
Exactly.
Damn 9th, I'm be on that plane.
It's happening.
So then you change it. And I think, have you seen, and I know Cici, from what you just said, you work in this energy. Have you noticed that it's something about setting a date? Well, something about setting a title, writing to the title, something about setting a date, a timeline. Have you noticed that? Because some people are like, well, shouldn't you have it together first? It's like, no, just give yourself a due date where you're going to present it.
Because you're never going to have it all together. You're never going to have it all together. That's what life is. You figure things out as you go along. Yeah. So I usually don't really set dates. I just set an intention. And usually it happens when I feel it in my heart, well, like I'm meditating or something, and then it'll just pop in my head, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do this. And with my I gotta do this, that means like now. That don't mean like 5 years later. Right?
My saying is pull a trigger. I gotta watch it because like pull a trigger. Well, you a gangster? I'm like, no, I'm not a gangster. I only get cop rope. But pull the trigger. So all right, each one of you, I want to hear, what's one of your biggest wins to you? It could be anything. Since you've been in Los Angeles. One at a time.
Well, I can say for me, an opportunity to bring a project that I've been working on in Los Angeles home to my family. I did a horror film because I do like horror films. And working with Sal and Hadrian, we did one. We would love to make a trilogy, but that's another story. It's called Into the Woods, and that's another story. It's not the Into the Woods, just a little plug for them. But I was able to bring it to, like, we did AMC. So it was like in Vegas, Phoenix, Florida, I think it was Miami, and then Dallas, being from Dallas. So it was like a real joy to get in the car with my parents. I went home. And my dad was like, all right, like, we're going to, like, North Park? I was like, yeah. And he was like the theater, AMC? I was like, yeah. He was like, you got it in here? I was like, yeah. And he thought it was going to be, like, a little small type of thing. Like, oh, you brought something here. And I'm like,
popcorn and still can't believe it. He like,
yeah, everyone's like my daughter did this. Yeah, and I'm like, we got it in Blockbuster before, Blockbuster disappeared. To me, that was, like, a humbling feeling. Because just to, like, know all the work you've done from Texas, moving to California to show like what I've done is not in vain. And so I believe it's going to happen. I'm achieve it. And this is what happens when you put your best foot forward and you, like I said, you just believe in yourself. And so to me, that was a great moment for me in life. I was like, but I know I can do more. But that was just the start of it. I'm like, you did this,
You had that huge confidence boost. Now you're like, you can do it.
Yeah, now I got stuff on Amazon, so there you
go. Awesome. Another big win.
For me, win is, I would have to say, building this studio. It's something that it was very challenging because in LA, no one wanted to rent to a production studio. They're like, no, you're going to have all this traffic coming in here, taking up the parking lot. You're going to be loud. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. So I can't tell you how many times we got turned down when we was looking for a space. And it's just step one, finding the perfect space, And the average person probably would have said, yeah, probably not. I'm going to give up. But me, no, I'm like, this is going to happen. I'm going to keep going. I don't care if I have to talked to 100 landlords. One is going to say yes. And inspirational story, the landlord here, his name is Manny. Manny is one of my inspirations because Manny came from Mexico like 20 years ago, and he said he had $250 in his pocket, didn't speak the language. He has like 8 or 9 of these commercial properties now. So I look at him and I'm like, people like that, like I have no excuse for nothing. If he can come here and just be dropped in a place where he don't speak the language, he don't know anything about the culture, and then acclimate himself to create something like what he's created, then I'm born and bred here. I should get it figured out, you know.
Right.
So the studio I would have to say is my biggest accomplishment.
I'm just grateful I haven't given up yet.
That's a huge win. Not only not giving up, because not giving up has taken you to get that phone call like, girl, I need you. Like me? You.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few career highlights that I look back on. You know, I booked 2 network shows, guest roles on network shows that aired the same week. I had an animation series.
She's so humble. She's not going to tell you her resume, but if you look on network TV, you'll see this face there. She's been on some heavy duty shows with Shonda Rhimes and all that stuff. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, the 2 shows that aired the same week were Grey's Anatomy and Criminal Minds. And what was so cool was just not only being able to work with the most amazing casts on the planet and being in the same space as them and seeing myself as one of them, even if they didn't consider. I was like, I am a series regular today. Being around that energy was amazing. But the response from my friends and family was just like, wow, like just all the love. And I think that's what meant the most to me. It was just being surrounded by love. So, you know, and then being on some really great animation shows and just seeing the fruits of my labor where everybody else can see it.
Yeah, right.
So those are good
Because
career
she's
highlights.
an accomplished voiceover artist too. She's got a resume longer than my arm with all the voiceover work she does. So,
but it was just so for me, it's just the consistency and just feeling like my life is a journey and just the continuous gratitude that I have for still being in this industry, still having a love for it, and never giving up. Because I know where I am, and I'm grateful, and I know where I want to be, in addition to, you know, where I am. I like where I'm at. So, yeah.
I love it. So when will people be able to get a taste of Symone the web series? A taste.
We're on.
And are you going to do it like different series? Are you going to shoot everything at the same time, or are you going to shoot?
Yeah, we're done shooting. We shot everything at the same time for one season.
We're about business here.
Okay.
We're about business here.
Doing it, Tyler Perry style.
Take us
long days with short periods of time. So
Right, and we had enough to break in between the quarantine from each other, and then we knocked it right back out. Yep.
Got tested multiple times.
Yeah.
Did you want to tell them how many days we shot, Cici? 7 episodes?
Well, it was like 4 and a half. 4 and a half days.
You did some old Clint Eastwood, Tyler Perry type filming.
And the good thing about
7
it,
episodes.
this is like people are like, wait a minute, y'all pretty much just shot a feature in a sense. If you think about it, the length of it, we shot like a feature. Yeah,
7 episodes, so it's like almost 70 minutes of content.
That was her idea.
Well, you know what I was say? That was my idea because it was my budget's idea. I was like, hold on.
We gotta get this done.
Yeah.
Like, y'all want to get anything off of this, we need to finish.
Right, and then I'm about to go spend 30 G's on something. No way, we're getting it done like now, quickly. So it was budget constraints. Believe me, if we could have done it over 7 days, I would have loved to just take my time with it. But you know,
and also COVID did play a role in that because we have a limited time to be tested before we could shoot, and then we had to wait and then get tested again and then shoot again. So all of that.
You know what's so funny?
It's just season 1. We do have a season 2. So, you know, this is just
So where can people see season 1?
Well, not yet. We're
Not yet.
editing.
We're
Let's
editing.
just calm down, Troy. Relax.
I'm just letting you know.
Tease me. I ain't into the teasing. Tell me. No, so y'all don't realize how inspirational. I don't. Well, you might, because you're just doing. It seems like second nature to y'all. But somebody's watching this, like, how did these sisters do this? How did they do this project? How did they? So what's the process and how do you get in touch? That's why I say it's really going to be powerful for you to start doing whatever classes, courses, something like this, setting up and doing it from, Four Hearts Entertainment, Four Heart Studios, so that people can plug in. It can be, part can be free, the rest can be paid, because people will pay for this. I will pay for it just to hear the process that you all are going through. And it's so second nature. Now, of course, we don't see the decades of work that went into having the confidence. So just like I asked the most powerful wins, name one big thing that you can name that took the win out of you and you thought, I'm not going to do this anymore. Editorial pause there. It's like
Right.
I think as artists, and I'll just speak as artists in general, I think, what is that, every other day we question
what I should be doing.
whether we should.
Every time I see a for hire sign, boy, I'll be at the gas station like, so what exactly y'all hiring for?
Part of me has always longed for that stability of having a paycheck every week or 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about that, but I don't think this has been, for me personally, any time where I've ever said I'm done.
Right.
I can't do this anymore. Because as an artist, you feel like if you're not doing your art, your soul is sick. It's not being your
It's
art.
done if you're not doing your
If you're enjoying it, you should still be doing it.
Yeah.
Do it until you don't like it anymore.
Right. Once it starts feeling like work, then you don't want to do that.
it.
It doesn't feel like work. So yeah.
It's fun.
I enjoy it.
You're
actually here. It's like 16 hours. I'm like, I feel it. I was like, all right. I'm like, what you felt like? You can go home.
I know, I had to throw them out. They didn't want to leave. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and everybody's still like having a good time. It's like, okay, come on, all right, let's go. But it's a fun job. And think about it. Where else?
And not to say, I think we've all had those moments where you've gotten an insult or you've gotten something that, has hurt you on a job and you're like, oh, this hurts. But I remember, for example, when we were producing I Heart Hollywood, my boyfriend at the time was like, well, why don't you just stop? I was like crying. I was in tears. And I was like, this is so hard. It's so hard because we did this. He's like, why don't you just stop? I was like, how could you say that to me?
I'm not quitting. Right.
We can't help it. Men by nature, a good man by nature, or a halfway decent man by nature, we try to be fixers. So we got to figure out if you're venting or if you're asking a question. Like, she get on my nerves. Why don't you just move your desk away from her at work and say, you don't understand what I'm trying to say. See, I wish she would die. It was like, well, something to her breaks. I don't know. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's trying to answer he's trying to fix the scenario to make you stop crying, not knowing. He was like, how could you say that to me? He's like,
right. You just needed to fit. It got difficult. I mean, we were putting the pieces together and it was, it was some challenging moments putting that together. So I did it. Me personally, I don't think I've had a moment where I said, I don't want to do this either. For me, like the quarantine, that was very challenging because for me not to be able to come into my studio, this is like my baby. It did something to me emotionally. I was like at the lowest point mentally that I've ever been because this is what gives me life. This is not a job for me. Yes, this is how I feed my family. This is how we eat and all that stuff. But this is just like me. This is my life, my studio, So when that was taken away from me for 4 months, not being able to create, it was really challenging. So that for me was the lowest point ever. That point. Really.
I think more or less for me, it's like when I felt like the partner that I had with the studio ended up leaving to go to Atlanta. That was a lot of the gigs that I got that I was like anticipating and just staying afloat and working and helping me, you know, enjoy it. And so when that was taken away, yeah, I may have could try to reach out to the other people that I know, but I was like, well, maybe it was a good time to take a pause, you know? So I did that moment. I did take a pause, but then you start getting comfortable and it's like, see, I don't like this comfortability right now, you know? And it's like, it took a push to like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you talk about it like, oh, you know, I'm getting too complacent, I should get out, but you still stay until that push happens where COVID, you don't have that. It's like, no, you're not doing what you're happy in. Why are you staying? You've already said you need to get out of it, do it. And so I was kind of like at that moment, because I was kind of struggling, should I stay here? Should I go somewhere else? Just how things were going. And then it's just something lifted and was like, you know what, make the most of this. Because right now, your time is now. It's 2020, it's for the year of the vision. Honestly, it's telling you, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And like everything started lining back out with your acting while you're here, the production, producing. So for me, it opened me back up. And that's what I feel like 2020 is a year of vision to open you, make you woke, like seeing what your purpose is right now. And so it's weeding out stuff that you don't need to be a part of and keeping stuff that should be in your life right now. So I feel like that was my eye opener and, you know, my little.
I was just about to say, and I'll let you go. You were about to say something.
What's my name? I'm sorry. He's
But
then he's like, I'm not going to say it. No, I was just going to say, you mentioned that. I do remember when I first had my daughter, feeling like I didn't want to act anymore because I just wanted to be her mother for at least a while. That didn't happen because I kept getting auditions and stuff. But I remember that feeling of no. And then I realized after about a year that I owed it to her to be me. Because being just her mother is not an example of, not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but for me, I wasn't living my passion. Right. And if I'm not living my passion, being just her mother is not enough.
I was, I just saw one of the latest episodes of Black Love just started back up, and I'm the sappy rom-com loving talking about relationships dude, so that kind of stuff is my thing. Just sidebar. But one of the guys on there had mentioned that him and the girl were together and he thought he really wanted it. She said she started noticing that he just wasn't there. He seemed like he was off and stuff like that. And he was like, I realized I didn't want the relationship if it was going to stop me from pursuing my dream. I'd done that before and it took a piece of me. And if I didn't pursue my dream as a musician, it was going to make me, you know, I think a lot of issues that people have in relationships, any relationship, not just love relationship, any relationship, and with the disgruntled people we see, because I don't meet very many bitter people who are doing their passion.
Right.
And he said, I will not like myself, and in turn, my relationship will suffer. You will suffer. Everything. And we see that all the time with the same people. We see people working 9 to 5s and like, and they all, for people to be working a 9 to 5, making more money than us, and have this long list of why we shouldn't be doing what we don't. It's like, so why are you saying this? You start looking at them like, is there something I'm missing? It's like, I just don't understand how you out here pursuing a dream, because it elevates you. What's the biggest? And we'll get out of here because I know we're running on. We can roll. What's the biggest? What you say? You got somebody coming?
Yo, folks are coming. I hear them pulling up outside.
Oh Lord. So last one. What's the biggest thing that COVID taught? And you kind of touched on it, SHANEQUA. But what's the biggest thing that COVID has taught you about yourself?
What is the biggest thing COVID taught? That you don't have to wait right before COVID happens.
She has to let them know something right quick. Yeah.
No,
out by the door.
No, go ahead.
Right before COVID happened, I was in the process of following this particular agent that I love to different agencies. And the last agency he ended up with, I didn't want to go with. So I just said, I'm going to pause. I love you, but I can't just love you and sign with a place I'm not comfortable with signing. So I took a break from having a TV agent, and then COVID happened. I was like in the process of looking for a new rep when COVID happened. And I realized, you know what? instead of looking for a new rep, I was already in the process of thinking how I can create something for myself. So for me, I am more about creating my own work, writing, producing, and getting my own stuff out there than I am looking for an agent that can get me the opportunities. So I think for me, it's just, that's what it taught me. You can't wait for other people and lean on them to get you something. You have to be able to do it yourself. So. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right.
Oh, that's I know from everybody. Okay.
Yes, everybody.
Okay. Well, COVID also, like, to piggyback off of MASHARI, but I felt like with COVID, I lost the stability that I had, which is fine, you know, and like things happen. But it pushed me, like I said, back into production and acting and things like that. So I started doing more, you know, exercising my chops. I started doing more monologues. I'm like, why just sit up in a house and just be upset and complaining about like, oh, I'm not working, I'm not doing anything. I'm like, do something about it. You know, I'm like, they're going to be looking for us. They're going to be looking for people who still, you know, want to do this within this climate right now. So I'm like, put yourself out there. And so when, you know, Cici was ready to shoot, I managed to book myself a feature that I wasn't even prepared for. And so I managed to do that during COVID, you know. And I'm like, to me, you can't wait around and just expect things to happen for you. You have to go out there and make it happen. And you can't give yourself excuses. And I felt like COVID was not going to be my excuse. I'm like, we waited around long enough. It's passed. Now just follow the protocol. You know what?
Reach. Oh, sorry.
You know, we are like, wash your hands like you're supposed to. Wear your mask like you're supposed to. Distance yourself. Get tested. Just do the right thing so we can get past this. You know. And move on with our lives. But I use that time. I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and do nothing. I'm like, I'm going to use the Zooms. I'm going to use these, you know, platforms we have, get back in connection with people that I know. And they're doing, like I said, the Zoom meetings with other, like, Orion pictures, like other people watching you. And I'm like, all it's doing is opening me up to other people knowing who SHANEQUA is. And that's all I can do at the end of the day. Is so they know who I am, hopefully remember, and move on. At least I know I'm doing what I want to do, my purpose. And I didn't wait around and say someone's going to do it for me. So that's what it taught me. Never wait on someone else to do it for you.
You can't, or you might be 95, 100 years old waiting on folks. Because I can't tell you how many times someone has told me, oh, I'm going to do this for you. And they just, people do a lot of talking here in LA. You know, I'm so over all that, what I can do for you. It's like me, I've taken on, COVID didn't teach me this, but what can I do for myself? You know, so, but COVID, I guess it just, like I said, it was hard for me because I wasn't able to be here, what I really, really wanted to do. So I just started writing a little bit more, and it set me down to where I'm like, okay, I'm at home, I have nothing to do now, write more, you know, so it was that, but yeah.
But yeah, use this time to be more creative. Like, unlock it. Don't make any excuses for yourself. It's just things that you've been wanting to do and you're passionate about it. Do it. It could be even standing chairs. I don't care. I was doing that too. I was planting flowers. I was doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, we just got to stay active. I don't want to be idle right now.
She's the one without children.
I'm cooking.
Right. Because when you got children, you believe me, you can get lost until somebody call you. I got an 8-year-old. So you're like, Troy, what you been doing? Being a dad.
Right.
What you been doing? It's like, believe me, it's a full time.
Oh yeah.
But hey, I wanna say first off, thank you. More than inspirational. I definitely want to talk more about how I can be of service to help put the word out there for the productions and everything you're doing as far as, and also getting people to you when it's time and properly done and all that stuff. But I'm excited about Symone the Web Series and everything else you got going on. And take a piece from Cici. For all those people that's been sitting around for 5 or 6 months complaining and you're creative and you didn't write your book, your script, or film anything, you have no excuses.
iPhone.
Or iPhone, anything. So give us all your information before we get out of here so people know how to get in touch with you.
Well,
I am so bad with social media. If you can find me, I think I'm at MASHARI BAIN OGUNYOKU. My husband's left.
I'll get it and it'll be below, folks. Just in case you need
that
to.
works.
I
didn't even like
thank you.
And I'm on Facebook. MASHARI BAIN OGUNYOKU.
Yeah, but check out the website for the studio. It's Four Hearts Studios with the S.com, and then you can see all these great sets here and rent them when the time is right for productions. So.
Well, I'm SHANEQUA363 on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, Shaniqua Reed, and you might can find me on TikTok, but I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I'm still playing around with that. Too much time on my hands, right?
No judgment here. No judgment.
IG Reels. I'm trying to say,
She learning it all.
She's
the social media queen right here.
She's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Troy. Appreciate you.
And we'll be looking out for Symone the Web Series season 2 and season 1, because season 1 hasn't. She's like, wait, pump your brakes, Troy. So she's finished season 1.
Yes.
She's finishing. Well, you guys are in the.
We're editing season 1.
Yeah, we're in post-production on season 1.
We don't have a release date yet, but she'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah. But season 2, just letting you know, we're not done. I was just letting you know, we're not done. There's going to be another one. It's an introduction to Symone. Give you a little taste of Symone. Then the real stuff going to happen in season 2. So that's why you just got to know the 2 is coming. We're not going to leave hanging.
On IG, make sure you follow the hashtag Symone the Web Series to stay on point. Follow. All the information will be below. Thank you, Cici, Shaniqua, and
Look, he's looking like
MASHARI.
MASHARI, Ari, and MASHARI.
Sorry.
Now I'll never forget MASHARI.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you, Troy.
Thank
Thank you, Troy. All right.